Okay, let's chime in. Lots of people attending today, so very exciting. So for those of you that might have come in just a few seconds ago, my name is Byron White. I'm the founder of ideaLaunch. I'm here with Larry Kim and Will Eisner. We're going to guide you through some advanced content marketing technology and methodology that will hopefully make your business better. For starters, I'm going to give everybody I'm going to talk for about 20 minutes now and walk you through a deck that I think is going to share some insights into some advanced stuff that I think you should know about. And of course, I always begin these content marketing webinars, as I have for the 24th time now, with a brief overview of content marketing and the revolution and what it means and what it is. I'll then focus on some methodology and then dive into some technology variations that I think you'll be happy to see. So for starters, the content marketing revolution is happening as we speak. It's really the fuel, if you will, for social media and inbound marketing, and it's the heartbeat of what everybody understands they need to do to communicate more effectively. But really, it's defined as the art of listening to your customers' wants and needs, and that is probably the hardest single thing for you to do as a marketing professional. You can certainly look at your search box and see what people are searching on. You can look in the social media sphere and listen into what conversations people are happening and look at your web analytics account, but no one has really tapped the surface yet of this art of listening. And I encourage somebody on the phone to be the revolutionary leader that figures that out. What are our customers' wants and needs? It's also a science of delivering great content to them with a new portfolio of assets. Articles are just the beginning, and blog posts we tend to focus on these days, but you need to become an author of a book, and you need to be publishing ebooks and white papers and widgets and workbooks and all kinds of things now to really establish your leadership position and make the transformation of becoming a publisher. That's really the new name of the game. Catching readers at orbiting at high speed is also difficult, and you need to think beyond your own website and into the wonderful world of content marketing, which is diverse, as you can see. You also need to really engage your prospect customers with information that they want and need. And sometimes you might not be the best judge of what information people might want and need, so keep that in the back of your mind as you think about what you create and produce and publish. Testing is the critical variable, and it's all there for you. The technology is there with companies like Google that are offering website optimizer and analytical tools that allow you to A/B test and multivariate test. And frankly, if you're not testing, you're probably living in the dinosaur age and leaving money on the table with your pay-per-click campaigns and really any of your marketing effort. The key seems to be finding the most efficient path to engagement, though, and that's what is difficult, is turning browsers into believers and believers into buyers and really fine-tuning that pipeline. You certainly want to engage customers off-site. That's getting more and more difficult to do. On the one hand, Google is with releases like Panda, seems to be slapping us in the face if our content is distributed to a wide platform, and that's duplicate content. Yet, at the same token, Google wants us to have link popularity and to grow our link popularity. So how do you do that? We're in a pickle, and it's tough to sort out those complexities. Scoring content for engagement is the critical element of content marketing. What are people responding to? What are they downloading? How do you track that through the sales funnel? And that becomes the interesting challenge. So let's dive into some methodology that we use here at ideaLaunch. And it sort of talks a little bit about the complex process which we follow when we create content for, say, a customer. And I think that everybody really needs to dive into a process, and whether this is it or not, we can sort that out later. But the net of it is, it has to be thought through. You need to curate content in the marketplace before you really write anything. Find out what the competition is creating, how much they're publishing, what the frequency of that is. Content curation is becoming the part of the puzzle these days when you start trying to capture organic market share and deliver the performance you demand. Content planning is what we're going to focus on today, the development of SEO plans and editorial plans, and that, of course, encompasses keyword research and customer research and all kinds of neat stuff. Content creation is the hard part. I've had many sessions talking about how to create great content, how to find great writers. That is an art in itself and something that that is becoming increasingly challenging as out there. Content optimization, scoring content for SEO strength. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. Building links, keyword silos, optimization is really what needs to be part of any content marketing campaign. Finally, distribution. We talked about that a little bit, and performance measurement, all of which we're going to talk about in the subject of keyword research. So let's see. Let me click this for one sec. So keyword research really fits into the whole SEO planning part of the equation here. So we're going to focus on that and really try to dive deeply into what is keyword research, why do you do it, what is its purpose, are you just looking for individual keywords, or do you have a plan and a strategy, a method behind the madness? So the first step is really to build out your current keyword universe. What kind of keywords are you driving traffic from the search engines? This is a customer of ours that has about 22,000 keywords that they drive traffic from. We simply went to their Google Analytics account and started looking at all kinds of data regarding these keywords. You know, how many visits does each keyword have? How many pages that were viewed? What's the average time on site? Bounce rates, you know, you get the idea. There's a lot of data that you have within your own Google Analytics that should be the first building block for you to begin assessing what you should write about and what keywords should be included in that content. You know, all of that requires quite a bit of research here. The second step is to really research the competitive landscape. Here I've used and highly recommend a tool called SpyFu to go out and quickly and almost instantly find all of the keywords that not only your website is probably driving from the search engines, but your competitor sites are driving. You know, SpyFu definitely tracks, you know, probably a billion plus keywords. But if you listen to Mike Roberts that I've done many presentations with on this monthly webinar, you'll learn that actually there's a fairly small circle of keywords that are driving about 95% of the traffic to 95% of the sites. So, you know, keep that in the back of your mind when you're looking at long tail. Certainly we're all fans of long tail. That's why we're probably on this call. But in step 2 here, you really need to quickly find out what are the major keywords that your competitors are driving organic traffic from the search engines. And that is as easy as one click, literally, within SpyFu. You type in the domain name of a competitor, it tells you how many organic keywords that SpyFu is picking up for that competitor, and you can instantly export that to an Excel file to view all those keywords. The third step, however, is filtering. So, and I'm going to show you, if I have time, some very advanced spreadsheets when I'm done with this particular methodology section, so you can actually see some of these Excel spreadsheets that we put together in this 5-step process that I'm talking about here. Filtering is tough. It's painful, and it's something that you need to do. You know, once you do all of your research, you find your keywords, you find your competitor keywords. You know, now you're in a position to start filtering, and you're going to want to filter out the duplicates. You're going to want to filter out any irrelevant keywords that you're not going to target for content creation or don't want to go after. And you're going to want to leave yourself with what we call your final keyword universe that is a very trimmed down version of what you want to target and what you want to go after. I could talk with you at length about some of the different strategies that go into that final keyword universe list that you develop, but some of the things you want to keep in mind are, number one, a balanced portfolio. You know, you want, say, a third of your keywords that you're targeting and going after to be like impossible, and you're not getting any, you're not even listed in the top 100, but there's high search volume. So you certainly want to go after the impossible, but you also want another third of your keywords to be quite the opposite of keywords that you're currently in positions 11 through 50. Maybe that you're that you're targeting, to get into that top 10, where of course you're going to find 85 to 90% of the traffic comes from the top 10. But let's find what we call those low-lying fruit keywords and put those into your final keyword universe. And the other third could be a wild card. They just could be plain keywords that you want to go after, or long-tail keywords, or golden keywords. Think hard about a portfolio that's balanced and allows you to achieve the goals and be strategic with your keyword research and performance goals. So when you find your final keyword universe, maybe it's 3,000 keywords as suggested on the previous slide, you're going to want to bend those and filter those down into particular keyword silos. This happens to be a keyword silo that we put together for one of our customers. These are the keyword silos names that you're seeing here. It's about 20 of them. And what you can quickly see is that each keyword silo has between a small group of 25 keywords or a larger pool of 450 keywords. But we've been very, selective and very strategic in all of the keywords that are included in each individual keyword silo. There's something relational about all of those keywords that are in that silo. And another important factor is, if possible, and sometimes this is difficult for some customers, trying to have exclusivity of each keyword silo allows you to be much more strategic each month when you start creating content and optimizing and scoring that content, which I'll talk about in a second. So one of the main purposes of those keyword silos and being so focused is so you can see how this now translates in content scoring. You can provide, on the left is a list of particular topics that you might write about. On the right are both primary and secondary keywords that you want included, say, in that article that's being developed. So step 5 is looking closely at keyword groups within each keyword silo. So this is a keyword silo that you saw from the previous example we were using for one of our clients called engineering. And within this keyword silo, we have different groups of keywords. Some of the keywords are their top 100 pay-per-click keyword phrases that they're targeting, both for organic and pay-per-click. Some of the keywords are in their top 100 search volume keywords that, again, they're targeting for SEO. Some are low-lying fruit. These are the keywords that we refer to that are in positions 11 through 50. And some of the keywords, again, in this individual keyword silo are golden keywords. So each silo, these just happen to be 5 groups that we chose for this particular client that we wanted to target. These are fairly common groupings that we have when we do this keyword strategy and keyword SEO plan development for customers. But I think it's good methodology. You get the idea, and there's a lot of different groups you could have that might cross-pollinate keywords throughout various silos. So let's now chime into some advanced technology. So there's a lot of technology out there. This is a very short list. Of course, our fine guest word tracker are on here. But there are a lot of great keyword research tools out there, and we would be doing a disservice to you if we didn't list some of these to you and give you some great ideas on where to find great keyword research tools. So lots of them. Explore this. Everyone, by the way, will get an email link both to this recorded presentation and a link to download this presentation after this webinar. So fear not. You don't need to write too hard or scribble too hard. You'll have access to this for those furious typers out there that are pounding keyboards right now. So, we could talk forever about tools. A couple of the favorites that you absolutely have to chime into and know about are the Google AdWords keyword tool that will provide great ideas for keywords and the competitive nature of those keywords within the Google platform, which are probably fairly indicative of the whole marketplace. So, certainly you need to chime into Google AdWords. I mentioned SpyFu. I won't spend too much time on this, but SpyFu does offer some great research tools, particularly some competitive analysis tools that I think you'll find helpful. Word Tracker, of course, has some great tools. This is a very unusual keyword research tool. It's called their question search tool. And I think it is a great opportunity to find keywords within these questions that might be great opportunities for you to create content using these very keywords and actually optimizing pages for even these how-to questions, I would argue, and at least the keyword phrases featured in very popular questions. So we talked about keyword silos a lot, and you can see that my advanced strategy really steers people to develop these silos. What do you do with these silos? And one example of what you can do with a keyword silo is to actually score any content that you're creating for a particular keyword silo. This is technology called WordVision, which is our own technology. Big disclosure footnote there. Everyone on the phone can get a free trial of it if you want for 90 days just by going over to WordVision. But WordVision allows you to build in your silos and do lots of great stuff and then score content for SEO strength for every article you create. And then you'll see later in this presentation you can actually track the impact of that content you created and that SEO strategy that you brought to the table. So it just provides a really, really cool way to do that. So what does all this mean? So you do all this keyword research. How does it help your business? So let's talk about some cool ways that this strategy really will help you, track the impact and the ROI of your keyword research that you do, and validate that this is worth the investment of time and energy to optimize your content and build out these silos. So this first report, I love it. Love this. It's called our silo report. And basically, if you imagine, for all the keyword silos you create, our technology platform, and you can do this on your own as well, and with lots of other technology platforms. But the net of it is, looking at the current listing position of your website versus all the competitors you have gives you a feel for how much organic market share you have versus your competitors. So with one keyword silo here called accessories, it's got a super high volume of 26,000 searches total for all the keywords in that silo. And it's got max and minimum pay-per-click prices, so you can start to see the variations and the richness and the potential for that silo. But what our technology is doing here is it's showing how you're doing versus the competition for that particular keyword silo. So I have a 0% market share right now for this particular customer with the keyword silo accessories. Whereas planning, another one of our keyword silos, planning is different. It's got a lower overall volume, but we currently have 20% organic market share, which means that we're ahead of the competition 20% of the time for all of these keyword phrases. So you're starting to see how keyword silo development can help you on the performance end. It can help you with scoring, as I mentioned, and it can help you with analysis and performance measurement. So another thing that you can do, and here we have a keyword silo called Golden Keywords, where this is actually a group of keywords that translates across all kinds of all of the silos. We're looking at the performance of all of the keywords in that grouping called Golden Keywords. And we can see, again, with WordVision technology, we can see listing positions every month. That's September, October, November in this chart. We can see the current listing position for each of the individual keyword phrases in that position. We can see the trends, negative going down is bad, green going up is positive. And then we can dig much deeper into each keyword if we wanted to, but you're starting to get an idea for how you can start slicing and dicing the data once you have your groups set up and your silos set up. So this is an overall organic market share report, which again shows that sort of percentage. Green is good, red is bad, and here we're comparing our client Our Wedding Day with The Knot and Wedding Wire and some other competitors. So we can see what is their organic market share versus their competitors. And we can make one click on any of these and go look at all of these keywords and really reverse engineer keyword silo development by grabbing one of our competitors that we're raising our blood pressure and that they're beating us, and we could look at everywhere we're losing and say, let's go create silos and content around this niche that we're losing. So another way that we track keyword performance is looking at how much actual content we published on our website. And then we can look closely at what the impact was, not only with improved listing positions, but also with individual keyword silos. So with this particular keyword silo called wedding planning content, I can see how my listing positions were impacted in Google. Also in WordVision, you can look at traffic. WordVision has a plug-in to your Google Analytics account, which allows you to see how much content you published, again, either overall on your website, and therefore how much new increased traffic resulted, or in an individual keyword silo. How much content did I publish, and what was the overall increases in traffic from all those keywords featured in that keyword silo? So therein ends my illustrious presentation. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to switch over to Larry and Will now. And give me 1 second. And I'm also going to go start answering any questions that have come in either from this presentation. Notice that you can download a free copy of my 101 Tips book and also get a trial by going there. So without further ado, Will, Larry, take it away.
Hey, thanks a lot, Byron. Hey, everybody, this is Will. I'm here with Larry.
Hey, guys.
And we're very excited to talk to you today about what we do for keyword research here at WordStream and our strategies for keyword research. That was great content, Byron. A lot of really valuable data in there, and it actually applies to some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes. Basically, what we'd like to do in the next couple minutes is talk to you about how we do keyword research here at WordStream. Now, we're pretty good at keyword research at WordStream. We make tools for it, and we also do it ourselves. We're going to tell you our 3-step plan for what we do when we want to do new keyword research activity. We're going to show you a little bit of some of the tools that we use here, and then we hope to have some time at the end to take some of your questions and just talk about stuff regarding keywords.
And as Will was saying, there's going to be some overlap with some of the processes that Byron was talking about, but also some small differences, and it would be just different perspectives on certain areas.
So before we get started, let's introduce ourselves quickly. Larry.
I'm the founder and CTO of WordStream. We're a keyword research company, and it's great to be here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Will Eisner. I'm the VP of Product here at WordStream. That's a picture of me in some tower somewhere. And here at WordStream, what we do is we help people get found on the internet with tools for PPC and also for keyword research. And we're going to specifically be talking about keyword research today. From our perspective at WordStream, keyword research is a game. It's a game that where you're competing with people and you're competing to get your content shown. So, Larry, what are the key tenets of this game?
Yeah, it's a bit of a guessing game. Every month there's like billions and billions of searches happening on search engines, and some of those are going to be relevant to your business. And I think the objective is to try to come up with and anticipate all of those different searches. And then come up with relevant content to rank on as many, cast as wide a net as possible to rank on as many of those as you can.
It's also a game because you're competing against other people.
Yeah, of course, it's a high stakes. You're not ranking on those words, your competition usually is. So.
Right, but of course, if you didn't think that, then you wouldn't be on this call. So let's jump into some of our methodology for what we do for keyword research. There's basically a 3-step process that we're going to take you through now. It involves finding the keywords, grouping them together, and then taking action. So step 1 is figuring out what people are searching for with your stuff. And there's a couple key activities here, so let's go through them, Larry.
Yeah, and Byron covered a bunch of these, like brainstorming, web analytics, and all the keyword suggestion tools. One of the keyword suggestions we'll be talking a little bit about is WordStream's keyword research suite, which it's a trillion keyword database. It blows the other ones away. And as a thank you for sticking around to the end of this presentation, we'll be giving it a nice coupon code.
Right, and so which you can use after your free trial. But basically, the goal of step 1 is to get a big list of all the stuff that people are looking for. Some of it's in your head. Some of it you can get, as Larry said, through analytics, through search query reports, and some through tools. Okay, so now you've got your big list of keywords, but you can't take action with just a big list. You've got to create what Byron refers to as silos or something like that. We call them niches. So why can't you use this big list?
Well, this is like an area, obviously if people get tripped up on, they think like, oh, I have all these keywords, I'm going to jam them all into one page, and I'm going to rank on everything. And of course, that's not true. You have to kind of break them up into smaller silos or themes or niches, whatever you want to call them, and create targeted content for each sort of target. And it's kind of easier to just show you this process of nichification. So in this example, I've got a big list of Xbox related words, Xbox this, Xbox that, and I want to do some categorization work, like bucketing sort of like words into smaller groupings. First thing you can do is you can cross off anything off of the list that's not relevant to your list. So if you're not selling Xbox 360 cheats, just get that the heck out of there. Next, there's a bunch of words having to do with like console or consoles, and I think we should probably group those together. Notice how it's plurals, variations, that kind of stuff, word order. As long as they sort of speak to the same theme or intent, I'll add them in the same bucket. Next, there's a bunch of game-related keywords like Xbox 360 video games. Look how in these niches, every time there's always a primary niche keyword, like it's usually like Xbox 360 games, and then there's these supporting keywords like top Xbox 360 games. I mean, it's a little bit like what Byron was talking about, like golden keywords and and the like. We're just using different names for some similar ideas, but I think you get the process of breaking it up into one big list into smaller, more manageable niches.
All right. So there's a couple different ways to break things up, and you just talked about a kind of a manual method. Now, how do I know what makes up a good niche? A lot of times people will ask us what the appropriate size of a niche is, or how big or how small it should be. What's the guidelines for determining whether you've broken things up into the right kind of niches?
Yeah, I think Byron kind of talked a little bit about listening to the wants and needs of searchers. That's exactly what we should be doing when we're trying to create keyword niches. You see, whenever someone does a search on Google, they have like a question in mind, or they're some specific pain point, like they're looking for an answer for something, or they're looking to find something. The key to making a good keyword niche is looking at the different search queries and try to infer the intent of the searcher. As long as the intents behind these different searches are the same, and it's just they're kind of typing it different ways, like in different orders or different variations. Like as long as the intent behind the search is similar, then I think that then that's a good niche. Conversely, if they're looking for different things, so then get those people the heck out of there into different niches. Now Byron was, I think this might be one area where we may disagree a little bit. Byron was suggesting, it seemed to sound like he was suggesting that you hit those money keywords, the golden keywords at the top of the list or whatever. I found just in my experience, like to hit these kind of mid-tail keywords, you're not going to get the same volume as some of those super high volume keywords, but I think you're more likely to be able to actually rank on those, especially if you're in a kind of like getting started, or if your website isn't Wikipedia or Google, some of those big head terms are a little competitive, and so I'll just give you an example. Buy Xbox 360 games. That's an example. Like you'll get a good amount of searches. It's not like a 10-word keyword or anything, and yet it's highly relevant to target it to your business.
All right. So when you're creating the niches, the key is to make them relevant to some particular user intent. Not about the number of keywords or the size, or there's no particular guidelines for that.
Yeah, that's right. It can be a big or small niche, but just as long as the keywords kind of speak to the same idea. All right.
So now that we've created these niches, let's talk about why it matters that we created them. And what it has to do really is about relevance. The whole point of keyword niches is about relevance.
Right. Obviously, content that's written around a specific theme is more likely to show up in the search results for those specific searches that you're targeting. Basically, it matters because we're going to be breaking up your big list into different kind of niches, and then we're going to use that as a way to manage our workflow. And by the way, this whole process of creating big lists and breaking them up, that's what I refer to as like building a taxonomy, sort of trying to discover all the different ways and understand the different facets of the words that people are using to find your stuff.
All right. So So I've got, let's say, a whole bunch of nicely relevant, targeted keyword niches, and I want to start taking action on them, both on the SEO and the PPC front. Let's talk about how I can take a niche and properly apply it for SEO purposes.
Sure. So in this example, the idea is it's just create one piece of content for every niche that you identify. And in this particular example, it's a page from Wikipedia, so the niche is venture capital. Notice how the primary keyword is very focused prominently on the URL, the title, the first sentence, etc. And then we kind of sprinkle in the supporting keywords like venture capitalist, VC, venture capital fund, ventures, through the page copy. With those mid and long tail keywords, by sprinkling them in, it'll strengthen the overall theme of the page, but it also will allow you to cast a wider net. Sometimes people search for things in very weird, caveman English. Like they'll say search for something like VC fund best venture capital Boston. It's not necessary. On some of those longer tail terms, it's not necessary that you have the exact match of the word that you're looking for in the copy of your document, but it really helps if you have the different word modifiers like fund or etc. Like use words that use in conjunction with it, so that you're basically casting a wider net to allow your content to not only show up on that one primary keyword, but also cast a wider net to show up on others keywords.
So basically, for SEO purposes, the page title and the page subject maps to the category of the niche itself. The content of the page you want to get by taking out those terms from the niche, sprinkling that throughout, and that all adds up to emphasize the strength of that niche title.
Absolutely.
All right. So and that's basically what there is for using it for SEO.
Yeah, it's another key it has to do with having broken up the content into these kind of granular pieces. It's really important to do like internal and external linking, like using the primary keyword as like anchor text, just like how Wikipedia does it. You ever notice how Wikipedia is always number one on whatever you're searching for? It has to do with like the structure of breaking up the site into so many different pages and so many granular little topics. It's never like one big topic for World War II or something. It's more like 100 different articles on every different battle, etc.
Right. So if you were using the niche like Xbox hard drive like you had before, you want the page title, the anchor links that point to that page to all be Xbox hard drive, and then you want the subject within to use those other terms you've grouped into the niche.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's niching for SEO. Let's talk about how you can use the exact same niches for PPC.
Yeah. I know you guys are probably all SEO professionals. But there's some really neat stuff. Is that the work that you do in creating your taxonomy and creating the keyword research is recyclable. You can actually use the same work that you're doing here for PPC, and you're probably thinking like, why the heck should I be bothered with PPC? Well, when Google updates their algorithms and stuff, sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of a diversity in terms of different traffic sources, and just to diversify the risk or whatever. And it's just the idea here is you take the same niches, like in paid search, the key to success has to do with something called relevancy and quality score, which kind of determines your positioning and pricing. And look how on the left side, that's like a terrible list. Like they're all over the place: dog, cat, snake, guppies, and the ad doesn't match to any of those words. So in the middle, it's we're getting a little better. We're trying to use more closely related keywords and group them together and try to reflect that on the ad text. But you can still do a little better. And on the right side, it's like specific canned cat food keywords, and we're sending them to the right page and the right very relevant ad copy. So all I was trying to say was that the work that you do in keyword research, it obviously applies to both paid and organic search, and it's like a 2-for-1 special. You can use that work.
Yeah, it's all about relevance in both cases. And I would point out that bad list that we have there is not some sort of theoretical case. We see tons of PPC accounts that have ad groups that are disparately grouped like that, and it hurts you because of the lack of relevance. So okay. we want to create these big lists of keywords. We want to group them into relevant themes. And we've talked a little bit about ways to do it manually, but of course there are better ways to do it that are faster and let you spend more time doing the core work of creating content. So let's talk about some of those tools now.
Great. So the first one on your screen here is called the WordStream Keyword Suggestion Tool, and I'm biased. I helped build this thing, but I think it's the world's best keyword suggestion tool, especially for people doing SEO. Some of the differentiating factors include the depth and breadth of the keywords contained in the database. So we've got something like 1.3 trillion search queries in this thing, unique search queries. That's like a trillion, meaning like 1,000 billions here. So that'll give you like a much higher granularity and higher resolution into exactly how people are searching for the words that you're trying to target. And another couple of differentiators here. We try to categorize the keywords. We provide the actual Google monthly search volume, the true Google competition estimates, as well as kind of estimated average CPC. That's like what people are typically paying for those clicks on AdWords. And this is not like hokey, like invented metrics. This comes directly from a partnership with Google, but the difference here is that Google's keyword suggestion tool it's more of a paid search keyword suggestion tool. It's trying to give you ideas on what how many impressions awards that the broad match might get. Ours is much more of a kind of mid and long tail visibility tool.
Yeah, so you can see that if you're going to be getting back 10,000 keywords for a particular query, there's going to be a lot of juicy mid-tail keywords in there that you can then group into valuable niches. Okay, so one tool is the keyword tool. Now, as it points out here, you can try this for free right at our website, wordstream.com/keywords. Give it a shot. But we've talked a lot today about niches. So what about our niche finder?
Yeah, so a lot of times when I talk to SEOs, they're using spreadsheets to try to run analyses on different keywords, and then like Byron was sharing his spreadsheet, and that's very common. I see that all the time. One of our innovations was this technology called the niche finder, and the way that works, it's very similar to a keyword suggestion tool, except that it adds in sort of a layer of niche finding. So it, rather than seeing a list of say 100,000 words having to do with ski jackets, the software analyzes the composition of that big list of thousands of keywords and tries to dissect it into different topics and subtopics sort of on the fly automatically. And so we leverage different like parsing and stemming technologies to try to take into consideration small variations like men's with an apostrophe S, or misspellings of spider or North Face. Maybe they forgot to use a space, like North Face as one word. Like we try to figure out different variations on a theme, and then we then cluster them together into these different niches. And just like how Byron was using a lot of analytics in terms of trying to figure out what's a good niche to focus on, like we would be able to show you like the Google monthly search volume for those different keywords, etc.
Right, and so this niche finder is kind of an unlimited source of valuable niches for when you're trying to think of different topics that you might be able to place on. You give us the start term. We give you, in this case, up to 301 niches for the ski jackets term, and then the detailed keywords for each of those niches that you can start working on.
And say like maybe ski jackets is too broad a term. Maybe your site just isn't ready to rank on words like women's ski jackets because maybe you're just getting started or something. One tactic that you can do is you could enter in a more specific term like women's ski jackets into our niche finder, and then it'll find all the topics and subtopics around that more narrow topic. So that's going to mean there's going to be less competition. More likely that you can actually rank on those types of words, because what's the point of creating content if there's like just no hope? Like if it's a suicide mission, like they're just too competitive.
Right. So you can have success by going a little bit longer tail of some of your words, especially if you're not going to be able to place on some of these more head terms. Again, you can try this for free on our website and just see what kind of niches you can find. The last tool that we want to show you out of our keyword research suite is called the Keyword Grouper. So, Larry, let's talk about what this one is for.
This is like a kind of a magical box where you just dump in any list of keywords, and out comes your niches. You know, maybe it's similar. It's like the opposite of the niche finder. In the niche finder, you start by giving a seed term like ski jackets or whatever, and then we reveal to you what the niches are. Here, it's you dump in your list of 100,000 keywords, and then we discover sort of how to best go about organizing that, and that's a pretty hard thing to do in Excel, because like it's just so many variations of words and different spellings, and it's where technology is nice to leverage.
So let's say you've got a search query report with a lot of different keywords in it, tens of thousands of keywords. That's very valuable data that you can turn into valuable niches that you know is already relevant to your content.
Yeah, because those are words that like you might be paying money for, like in AdWords or something, that people are actually clicking on your ads. So why not try to rank on those on SEO as well?
Right, but to do that you have to group them, and to do that manually, especially once you get past thousands of keywords, is extremely time-consuming. So this will take a few seconds. And again, you can try this one for free on our website, wordstream.com/keywordgrouper. Yeah, so let's recap the key 3 steps that we do here to be successful at keyword research. The first thing is figuring out all the different things that people are using to look for you.
Be specific, be relevant. Just make sure you build as big a list as you can, because it's just a guessing game. If you forget certain words, then you won't show up on them.
Step 2 is create niches. You can do it manually or you can use a tool. What's the key to niches?
It has to do with listening to the wants and needs of the user in terms of the intent behind the searcher, and breaking those up into different categories, and then matching them up with appropriate content asset, like a blog post or product page or solution page on your site.
Right, and that brings us to step 3. You can now use these valuable keyword niches for SEO purposes by creating themed pages around niches, or for PPC pages by using these niches to create ad groups and associated keyword lists.
And this is not like a one-time thing. Obviously, it's continuous optimization. You're constantly creating new ad groups or content pages and iterating and refining this, taking it to the next level.
Great, and that's how we do it here, and this is our recommendation for people as well. So the tools that we showed you today, as I mentioned, are available for free for you to try on our website at wordstream.com. They're also offered as part of an offering we call the Keyword Research Suite, which starts at something less than $1 a day for access to all these tools. However, if you use this wonderful coupon code that we have up here, which will expire at the end of the day, you can get 20% off. So if you go over to wordstream.com and you try it and you like the tools and you see the value, you can get a discount from us to get access to the full set of the tools.
And just give it a try. It's like, try typing in a word and then try typing the same word on AdWords, and you'll see 800 times more density, more resolution and insight. Even on mid and long-tailed keywords, it's the difference is pretty. It's 1 trillion keywords, so that's a big deal.
Yes. So that basically sums it up for us. We want to thank everybody, and at this point, we'll hand it back to Byron.
Great, guys. Really fantastic presentation. Honestly, I had not had any idea that WordStream had the depth. I've heard so much chatter in the marketplace, but this demonstration really brought some incredible things to life. I wanted to ask you about Groupie, because your grouper is really staggering and remarkable in the following way. I talked in the earlier part of the presentation about the importance of surveying the competitive landscape and assembling lots of competitive information on how your competitors are driving traffic. If I have this right, I could dump in 50,000 keywords into Grouper, or is there a cap on it? That's my first question. And then sort of, what's that?
100,000.
100,000 cap, okay, and then have Grouper kind of break out the categories. How does it do that? Is it only looking at the actual keyword phrase itself, or is it somehow spidering the connection of all these keyword phrases? Am I going to get? Could you explain a little bit about how Grouper does that grouping?
Sure. It's examining the kind of the intent of the different searches, but using kind of a linguistical analysis technologies, and then it is bucketing them according to those different the intents behind those searches. Additionally, it can leverage a signal that you provide it. So, for example, in AdWords search query reports, if that's where your list is coming from, or from Google Analytics, if you're just dumping a big list of keywords from Google Analytics dump, you might have like both the keyword and the search volume, like where that number could be like 100 or 10 or 5, like 5 searches, 10 searches, 20 searches. If you enter in a comma-separated value, like sort of a keyword, comma, search volume, or that could be any metric. It could be like, like I mean, you have different like metrics like golden keyword or whatever. If you put in additional metrics, it'll weight those accordingly, because a good niche, it's not only it's got to be relevant to a specific topic, but it should also be weighted according to its volume or its competitiveness, etc. So that's how it works.
Interesting. Yeah, then my next question is one that I think will be pretty impossible for you to answer, but I'm famous for asking really tough questions. So let me throw this out.
All right.
So when we look at the challenges here for you. When we look at traditional keyword research and competitive analysis of individual keywords, we continue to look at search volume and pay-per-click price as our standard metrics for comparison and analysis. We can certainly dig deeper into the linguistics, as you described, of actual phrases and help us parse out different groupings. But I continue to see a problem, and that is we're not looking, for example, at the current performance of that individual website for that particular keyword phrase in identifying, for example, the low-lying fruit, as I mentioned earlier, for lack of just one specific example. Do you ever imagine WordStream using that information? Is there other data other than search volume and pay-per-click price that we can look at to try to help with keywords research and strategy? Told you it was going to be impossible.
That is a good question. Well, okay, so it's it was really interesting when you were going over with the word vision stuff, how you take into account not just the keywords and the research and stuff, but also
competitive factors.
Yeah, competitive factors and stuff like that. Implicit in the kind of the way that we do keyword research here is some stuff that has to do with your website, because we so often start with search query reports or organic search reports, both of which help identify the kind of low-hanging fruit, like you mentioned. So in that sense, we as well as using the keyword volumes, that helps us get some stuff that's not just generic keyword research, but is specific to the to the sites that we're working with.
It's true that there's a lot of other signals that we could leverage, but I take a little different approach in that I think that it's like you don't want to overcomplicate stuff. Like there's going to be a point of diminishing returns, like as we build this model of like adding, I don't know, competitive signals and your page rank, and then all the link profiles of like all the other pages that are ranking for that term, and then like your analytics data, conversion data from like it comes to the point of kind of you got to keep your eye on the prize here, and one of that is like you have to spend time doing content creation, and I feel like if you can tip the scale a little too far in the too much analysis and not enough doing, and so I would sometimes I just guess, I know that's not really a great answer, but I'll just take a common sense guess of what I think that I can rank on and what I think that'll work, and try that and see what happens.
Now, it's It's been a difficult challenge to, yeah, that's good. It's been a difficult challenge to really, make it easy to figure out what keywords to target for either SEO or pay-per-click. With so many choices and so little time, one of the factors that actually someone asked about was the competitive feel that you had. How competitive is it to achieve top listings in the search engines or to have success? Can you talk a little bit about your technology and how you figure in competitive nature?
It has to do with the number of search results, has to do with the number of advertisers competing on that keyword, has to do with the average cost per click, as well as the word length and other factors.
Because yeah, you can see how broad that term is. It kind of relates to the last word. I mean, competition, once again, could go to search volume and pay-per-click price, but competition could also be, drilled down into that individual website and how much content, for example, there is on that website currently, and how much content they would need to achieve a top organic listing position. That's the crux of the challenge right there, right, is determining how much content, if you just take SEO, for example, and you say, okay, I'm trying to get my site top listings for lots of keyword phrases, right? That's a common theme. But really the questions you have to ask for each individual keyword are, okay, for that keyword, how much content would I need? How frequently would I need to publish content using that keyword phrase? How many links would I need from other websites to go to that phrase? I mean, those are the big three questions that you need to ask, probably, with each individual keyword phrase you're targeting. Is that even possible to ever answer those questions?
I think that these are just estimates, like proxies for competition, and I would. There's also like everyone is going to know how the strength of their site and what kinds of terms that they've ranked on successfully, and where the suicide missions, and if you combine an estimate plus their gut instinct, I think you get a lot of the way there.
Tough challenges, and let's see. We had some really good questions that are coming in here. Let me just read another one. Does your software keep an archive of the usage searches per client?
You mean like an archive that you can refer to later?
I'm thinking almost, is it metered? Are you metering people with the way that they conduct searches?
Oh yeah, no. So I mean, the way that our product works is once you buy it as a subscriber, you're not metered from normal activity.
But obviously, if you're going to try to scrape the thing, like the technology will kick in. And
something might happen if you set up a PHP script. But no, of course, if you're just using it as a regular human, then there shouldn't be any problems.
There you go. Beware hackers. Okay. Does the monthly search volume field? What does the monthly search volume field represent? Broad matches, phrases, exact matches? Can I choose which one I want?
It's exact match.
It's exact match.
Okay. And do you want to explain to the people that may not know what the variations are to those broad versus exact versus?
Sure.
There's like I believe there's 4 different ways that you can slice and dice volume. Could you explain that a little bit?
Sure. Broad match just means searches containing that word or its misspellings and synonyms. Phrase match has to do with containing that keyword in that order, and specifically, like as you've written it out. Exact match means how many times that specific keyword and nothing else was searched on.
So let's real quickly, just running through that example. Let's say if I was looking up fish tank, if I had it on broad match, aquarium might trigger that keyword. But if I have phrase match, fish tank supplies might trigger it, but aquarium wouldn't. And if I have exact match, that'll only respond to the exact search fish tank.
Usually the SEOs are more interested in the exact matches because they're targeting specific keywords in their web pages, whereas paid search practitioners, because Google kind of loosely matches the keywords in their account with the search queries, they're more interested in broad match because they want to know what's the maximum possible reach that they can get, including synonyms, etc.
Right, and so that's why we use exact match here.
Terrific. Another question on the competition. Is the competition just the info from Google, or is that calculated by you in some way?
It's a large, huge signal of that is from Google, but then we leverage some additional signals that I'm not able to disclose.
So it's mostly yes.
But yeah, if you run, there'll be a very good alignment with directional alignment with Google AdWords keywords, whatever it's called.
Got it. Is there a tool that is available to show you how a prospective content change will alter your search engine position?
No.
No, we don't.
Forecaster of sorts.
Right. So we know in our keyword research suite doesn't have a function that'll do that. I should mention that one slightly related to this topic, there is a part of the keyword research suite we didn't mention, which is a Firefox plugin that helps you get these keywords and stuff directly into your content as you author in popular CMS platforms. But no, we don't have some kind of predictor where you put in some different words and we try and guess how it's going to affect. That's a pretty hard thing to do because you have to really get inside Google's algorithms.
I've done this thing where, there's rules of thumb. I've done this thing where I take an existing page that ranks well for a certain head term, and then I just add, sprinkle in long-tail modifiers into that page, and I typically see 10 to 15% boost in terms of traffic, because now it's eligible to rank on a whole bunch of other long-tail phrases. So it's more just from experience as opposed to actual predictive numbers.
To chime into that question, prediction is difficult, but performance measurement is actually getting easier and better with tools like WordVision, the tool we created. So the net of it is, you're doing a huge project for a big Fortune 500 company, and you're creating, 1,200 assets in the course of the year. Trust me, that client wants to know what is going to be the impact of the content you publish. Great, you're going to do this planning and keyword silo and score content for SEO. Well, what is going to be the impact? What is the ROI measurement? What are you going to show me every month? And that's really why we designed and built WordVision, to actually correlate the content assets published on a particular domain name and the impact of those content published. I showed a few screen grabs there. But when you dig down deeper, you see that you can actually go, all of this content that you score in WordVision becomes the means by which to track the impact and the ROI. And what we do is when you're looking at keywords in say, WordVision, you can actually go see a little column that says, how many articles have I published that have featured that keyword phrase? Right? So that's beginning to show you whether you're doing a good job to create content around keyword phrases.
Right. So that's a great complement to the kind of keyword research that the keyword research suite provides, which is letting you know the actual real-world impact.
Yep. Yep. And which terms to go after. I mean, again, grouper, jaw dropper there. I mean, can't wait to get my hands on that. And start using that every day, because that's what our editors and SEO specialists here really need, is what are the groups, how do you set the performance up, certainly selecting the keywords, and that's certainly where relevance comes in, and by the way, relevance, so super big challenge and yet opportunity. Have you guys seen any tools that measure correlation and actually grade pay-per-click ads and the landing pages, or have you developed any tools that do that?
Well, Google has something called Quality Score, and that really tries to score from 0 to 10. It's gives you an indication of the alignment of the keyword to your ad text and landing page.
Yeah, so I mean that's what Quality Score is. I would add that this is something that we're keenly interested in here, more on our PPC product, which is not something we talked about today.
Yeah.
Which is which is helping with relevance and landing pages and all that's entailed there.
Well, Larry and Will, we've reached our hour here. I want to thank you both for chiming into this great informational and educational webinar. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Byron. We had a great time.
Thank everyone for your great questions today. And again, the WordStream opportunity is up on the screen there. Please take advantage of that. Great opportunity. And overall, if anyone has any questions or interest in getting a hold of you guys, you didn't put your research up, but do you want to reach out or tell somebody who they can get a hold of at your company if they have questions about the product?
Sure.
So
we're on Twitter. It's WordStream @WordStream, or you can just
perfect.
WordStream.com.
Great.
Right. I will show it in a second for those people who are hanging on to this. So there we go.
Perfect.
It's at WordStream and lkim at WordStream.com. And of course, you can just go to WordStream.com and contact us.
Right on. Larry, Will, thanks again so much. Thanks everyone for listening in. Hope you enjoyed another great content marketing webinar by ideaLaunch. Thanks again everybody for listening in. Until next month, we'll see you. Happy July 4th for those of you in the States, and hope you enjoyed it. See you next month. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Byron.
Right on.
Thanks, guys.